Picture this: a vast, snowy tundra. The air is crisp and cold, and thundering across the frozen landscape is a creature straight out of the Ice Age, a woolly mammoth. This isn't a scene from a movie. This could be our future. Welcome to the incredible, mind-bending world of De-Extinction. For thousands of years, extinction has been a one-way street, a final, irreversible end. But what if it wasn't? What if we could turn back the clock and bring back species that have vanished from our planet? This isn't science fiction anymore. It's a very real scientific pursuit. And the woolly mammoth is the poster child for this revolutionary endeavor. So, how exactly do you bring a mammoth back to life? It's not as simple as finding a mosquito in amber, Jurassic Park. The real process is far more complex and, frankly, even more fascinating. It all starts with DNA. Scientists have found remarkably well-preserved mammoth remains frozen in the Siberian permafrost. From these carcasses, some with liquid blood still inside that can extract ancient DNA. The problem is, this ancient DNA is always degraded and fragmented. Think of it like a book that's been torn into millions of tiny pieces. You can't just glue it back together. So, instead of trying to build a mammoth from scratch, scientists are taking a different route. They're using a powerful gene editing tool you might have heard of, CRISPR. The plan is to take the genome of the mammoth's closest living relative, the Asian elephant, and edit it. They compare the mammoth's fragmented genome with the elephant's complete one to identify the key genes that made a mammoth a mammoth. These are the genes for things like long, shaggy hair, a thick layer of subcutaneous fat, smaller ears to prevent heat loss, and of course, that special kind of hemoglobin that allowed their blood to carry oxygen in freezing temperatures. Using CRISPR, scientists can then snip out the elephant genes and replace them with the mammoth versions, one by one. It's like a genetic cut-and-paste job on a massive scale. The result wouldn't technically be a 100% pure woolly mammoth, but rather a hybrid Asian elephant with mammoth-like traits, perfectly adapted to live in the cold. A mammoth elephant, if you will. Once they have a viable hybrid embryo, the next challenge is bringing it to term. One option is to use an Asian elephant as a surrogate mother, but this carries significant ethical concerns and risks for the elephant. A more futuristic and potentially safer method is to develop an artificial womb. A biobag, essentially, where the embryo can grow outside of a living animal until it's ready to be born. It sounds like something from a sci-fi novel, but this technology is already being developed. Now, you might be asking, why? Why go through all this trouble to bring back a woolly mammoth? It's not just about creating a prehistoric theme park. There's a powerful ecological reason behind it. It's called rewilding. During the Ice Age, vast grasslands, known as the Mammoth Steppe, covered much of the northern hemisphere. These ecosystems were maintained by massive herds of large grazers, like mammoths. Their grazing, trampling, and even their nutrient-rich dung kept the grasslands healthy and prevented forests from taking over. When the mammoths disappeared, the ecosystem changed dramatically. The grasslands turned into mossy tundra and taiga forest, which are much darker and absorb more sunlight. Here's the crucial part. The mammoth steppe was incredibly effective at keeping the ground frozen. The thick layer of grass and the animals trampling insulated the permafrost in winter and reflected sunlight in summer. Today's darker tundra absorbs heat, accelerating the thaw of the permafrost. And that's a huge problem. Permafrost holds twice as much carbon as is currently in our atmosphere. As it thaws, it releases massive amounts of greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide, creating a dangerous feedback loop that speeds up climate change. The idea is that bringing mammoths back could help restore the mammoth steppe. These eco-engineers would trample the snow, allowing the cold to penetrate deeper into the ground. They'd knock down trees and encourage the growth of grasses, creating a lighter-colored landscape that reflects more sunlight. In theory, this could help stabilize the permafrost, locking away those dangerous greenhouse gases and slowing down a major driver of climate change. It's a bold, ambitious plan to fix a modern problem with a prehistoric solution. Of course, the woolly mammoth isn't the only candidate for de-extinction. Scientists are also working on bringing back the passenger pigeon, once the most numerous bird in North America, with flocks so large they darkened the sky for days. They were hunted to extinction in the early 20th century. The plan here is similar. Edit the DNA of its closest living relative, the band-tailed pigeon, to recreate the passenger pigeon. Their return could help regenerate forests in the eastern United States. Then there's the Thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, a unique carnivorous marsupial that was hunted to extinction in the 1930s. Return could potentially help rebalance Tasmania's ecosystem, which has suffered from its absence. Each extinction project comes with its own unique goals and challenges. But this incredible power also comes with enormous responsibility and a lot of controversy. De-extinction is not without its critics, and they raise some very important points. First, there's the question of ethics. Is it right to create a creature that will have no parents of its own kind to learn from? Can we guarantee its well-being in a world that has changed so much since it last existed? There are also ecological risks. We can't be 100% certain how a reintroduced species will interact with the modern environment. Could it become an invasive species? Could it outcompete existing animals for resources? Or could it introduce ancient diseases we're not prepared for? These are unknowns we have to consider very carefully. And perhaps the most pressing concern is the moral hazard. Could the promise of de-extinction make us lazy about conservation? If we think we can just bring species back later, will we stop trying so hard to protect the ones that are currently on the brink of extinction? Critics argue that our resources, time, money, and scientific effort would be better spent on saving the thousands of species we at risk of losing right now, rather than resurrecting ghosts from the past. It's a valid point. Conservation must remain our #1 priority. De-extinction should be seen as a potential bonus tool, not a replacement for protecting biodiversity today. We can't afford to lose elephants while we're busy trying to create mammoths. So, where does that leave us? We're standing on the cusp of a new era, one where we have the power to reshape the very story of life on Earth. The science is moving forward at an incredible pace. Companies like Colossal Biosciences are aiming to have their first mammoth elephant calves within the next decade. Whether we see herds of woolly mammoths roaming the Arctic again is still an open question, but the debate itself is forcing us to ask profound questions about our role on this planet. What is our responsibility to the species we've driven to extinction? And how can we use our growing technological power wisely to heal the planet rather than cause more harm? De-extinction is more than just bringing back old animals. It's about the possibility of restoring lost worlds, repairing damaged ecosystems, and maybe, just maybe, making up for some of our past mistakes. The journey is just beginning, and it promises to be one of the most exciting and most important scientific adventures of our time. What do you think? Should we bring back the woolly mammoth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you found this journey into the past and future as fascinating as I did, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the science that's changing our world. See you next time.